I'm here with an incredibly talented filmmaker, video editor, and technically co-worker, if that's what you want to call it in the entrepreneurship space, Carlos Medina. If you're interested in moving out, moving to a different country, or even entering the film industry, Carlos is about to answer all of your questions. He was born in Cali, Colombia, where he attended school throughout his childhood. That then took him to study in Canada and Orlando, Florida, in his late teenage years, and it doesn't end there. He has continued to learn and grow by completing a bachelor's in international business back in Colombia before moving to Madrid, Spain, where he currently lives and works now. Let's gain the Colombian perspective of life after high school. I'm Leah Leverage, a class of 2022 high school graduate exploring every path to success after senior year. Let's expand your mind to what's out there and narrow down your options so you can make a graduation decision with confidence. You're listening to Decision Day.
The Decision Day podcast is brought to you by the Rise and Record event in Nashville, Tennessee. Rise up and share your story through video. Visit riseandrecord.com for more.
Carlos, thank you so much for agreeing to come on the podcast. Can you please share with everyone where you grew up and what school was like for you at a young age?
I was born in Colombia, in Cali, Colombia. I did all my school there through high school. A lot of learning through experimentations, hands-on. Of course, it was because it was that the school I went to, had that methodology. It's not like all schools are like that.
I asked my cousin Chiara from Italy the same question in the last episode, just because I think it's worth noting. When did you start learning to speak English? Like, were they teaching you that in school? Because you are amazing at it, but I can't say the same about my Spanish.
So my school, it was a bilingual school. So I learned when I was, I don't know, I guess like 7, 8 years or something like that. And after high school, I did an exchange program in Vancouver, Canada, where I kind of improve a lot my English, because it's different when you just like live in a country where you don't speak, that language. It's different when you're 24/7 speaking. Yeah, like when you really have to speak because to survive. And yeah, you'll definitely learn way faster through like just being there.
Interesting. So what kind of student were you like in high school?
The thing in Colombia is like it's not in the States, where you have elementary, middle school, and high school at different locations or different schools. It's just the one. I mean, usually, yeah, you'll go to school from elementary through high school. I was a regular student. Of course, I didn't ace, on grades, but then there were few, I guess, pivotal moments through my, high school education. Like there was one time where I had like a injury on my knee, and then I kind of started to hang out with different group of friends, and then that group of friends were like more, I guess, better students or whatever. So I kind of got influenced by them, and then started I realized that if I was really bad at math, and I realized that if I really just take the time to study and do that, you can get better at anything. So I actually got better on that. And then I had another like phase where, like in 10th grade, I used to go to the public library. I used to read a lot. Like my plans were for the weekends were just going to the public library, picking up books, and then they have like this cycle of movies that I used to attend every Saturday. It was mostly elder people, like yeah. So it was kind of funny because I was always the youngest. Like everyone, like everywhere I went to, like when I was in high school, I was the youngest in my class. When I was in Canada, I was the youngest. When I was in the States, I was the youngest always.
Okay, so how would you compare school and education in Colombia to even Canada and America?
Since I did different type of educations, so it was like different experiences. In the States, I did a bachelor's, a film bachelor's, and the school that I went to was Full Sail. It was a hands-on experience where you did like 4-year bachelor's in half, like 2 years. And I was all the time learning on set, and just by, with experience. Now in Colombia, it's different. It's mainly more like theory. I had a lot of like moments where I wanted to quit like the first year of international business because I was not used to class. I was used to being on set and working. So
Hmm. Do you think that all of your majors that you've gotten and your degrees, have they helped you? Were they worth it? Like, is there value to everything that you did?
yeah, of course, I found value. When I did film, I moved to a new country where I didn't know anybody, and I got to meet a lot of good people there that I still work with them. But I guess it goes beyond that. It just the fact that I made the decision to go to another country and study just a program, it just so much like real life experience that you do not only on, of course, whatever you learn in class, but just being there by yourself. And because I was like 17 when I was in the States, because of course you know that the film industry in America, it's really big, and
Yeah.
it's a good place to, learn, make connections.
Hmm.
Because the best part of just living in a country abroad is that you make new connections, and then you can build a career from those connections.
Okay, so are you familiar with the term decision day?
No, I mean, I just know that the
Okay, interesting because over here it's like the day in high school where everyone, well, at my school at least, where everyone comes to school in like a shirt or a hoodie of what college they want to go to, but it's really
Mhm.
confusing for someone who's undecided or starting to work right away or going into the trades or the military. So, did you have anything like that? Was there any type of sharing your decisions and seeing what your other classmates are doing? Because a lot of it's like comparing your path to someone else's.
Yeah, I guess is this decision day in the same like graduation day? Is it? Or
No, it was something different. It was just a day where you come to school and you're supposed to know what you wanna do.
really?
Yeah.
That's funny. I guess no, there is not such a thing like that in Colombia. I mean, of course, you just chat with people, your friends. Okay, what are you guys gonna do?
Yeah.
And most of the people start just a degree right away. They go to university or college after high school.
Oh, so
Um,
it's common just to go to school again.
yeah, I mean,
Yeah.
it's of course, it depends on the kind of like the economy level, the
Mhm.
economic situation of the family or
Yes.
group. Um, like of course, in Colombia we have private and public schools, universities,
Mhm.
and also the military career. Um, but the usual or the most common thing to do is just to enroll in a university or college, whether it's private or public or it's just an institution. It's the most common thing to do.
Okay.
So most of my friends just enroll in university kind of like right away or like 6 months after graduation or a year after.
Now, how much is university in Colombia?
I guess it depends on public and private. So I was still working with clients in the US from Colombia, and then I paid my education through the work that I did, and the college that I went to and graduated was one of the, I guess in my town, was one of the most expensive. And of course, it depends on what degree are we talking about. Are we
Yeah.
talking about medical? Because those are one of the most expensive. Let's say like a whole year, it cost me 6,000,
Wow.
and I did 4 years. So yeah, that was kind of like half of what it costs, like the US education.
Yeah, because I think a lot of the averages over here for like if I went to a college and I stayed within New York State, it would be like $20,000 at
A
least
year
a
or
year. So
uh-huh.
that's pretty cool. So how often did you see students just working right away or entering the military in Colombia?
In Colombia, when I was in high school, it was so working right away and military. it was not as common. So I'm from like middle class, and usually like military is not a kind of like a career that most people want to pursue, because
Okay.
it's not like the States where I guess they'll pay you, I think, or something, or it's a or you get like scholarships and benefits
Right.
after after doing service. In Colombia, is it's not like that. It's they don't pay you. I think you get some benefits, but it are not that worth it. And also, we're talking about Colombia, where we're a beautiful country, but there is history and there is a lot of
Hmm.
violence history in
Hmm.
Colombia. So
Okay.
it's not a really like,
Okay.
I guess it's more common to stay like in Cali, where I'm from, to
Hmm.
stay in the city, kind of like go do your high school, then you go to university, and then you just get a job in a company in Cali. And so I guess it's more cultural thing too,
Okay.
that I know in the States, you go to high school and then you kind of just move out of the state to another university. And then I guess depending if you get a job in that state or you move to another. So it's more common when you're like 18 to move out of your house.
Yeah.
Colombia is not like that.
Oh,
You'll probably stay, I don't know, like 26 or 27,
that's when you move out?
or even like 30. Yeah, it's different.
Whoa.
Yeah.
Okay. That's crazy different. Do you think that you would have ever stayed there and like done all of the entered the film industry over there? Do you think that the opportunity was lacking, so you had to move?
So, I mean, in Colombia, it's funny because most of the filmmakers are from Cali, but they moved out of Cali, moved out of town. They'll go to the capital, Medellin, or they move out of the country, Mexico, States, or Europe. There are not as many film schools in Cali. I guess depending on what you want to do, like what kind of experience do you want to have, and also what kind of experience do you can have, like economically or
Yeah.
that, it's a good thing to go other places, to go different cities or different countries to get another experience. My film career, for example, has been, I guess, accelerated in the States
Okay.
because, of course, there are more studios, there is more work in the States, that if I stay in Cali and then go to school there, I'll probably be doing well, maybe I'll be doing the same things, but it won't be,
Not
I
at that
guess,
level.
yeah, not at that level.
Okay. What is something that you wish you did when you were in high school in Colombia or even studying in America?
So, and I was really focused on just studying and working, and just getting as much experience as possible. So
Yeah.
I was kind of like in on sets every week, like from, I guess, month 4 or something. I started just working on productions like nonstop, and I kind of just left my social area of life aside. I put it
Mm.
aside. So
Mhm.
I kind of just, yeah, I didn't have as many friends, and I didn't really care too much of that, because I knew it was a unique experience that I was having there, and I wanted to take advantage.
Yeah.
Also, a thing is that I decided to go back to school, international business, but I felt that I needed to just learn more, have more fundamentals, more knowledge in business, so I can pursue my dreams or my goals, which are like building my own production company and all of that. And I felt like that knowledge will help me a lot. So I didn't go to school because I had to. I chose to go to school because I felt like I needed to and I wanted to. So it's different when you already work and you're
Mhm.
working and you're paying for school. It's different experience. It's not like you're not just going attending classes and just scrolling on your phone. You're like,
Yeah.
okay, the time you're spending here, it's time that you could be doing just working on projects
Making
or
money.
like on
Yeah.
set, or yeah, but you're there, so take advantage of everything.
Were you working while you were going back to school for business in Colombia?
Yeah, I did. I was working as a freelance editor with US clients, and I was going to full-time student. I felt like it was a really good experience doing that, like working and studying. It was just you gain so much knowledge and you're so motivated like when you're studying and working like that's something that another student who is just like studying and maybe their parents are paying for school or they have
Hmm.
scholarships, they're just like okay, and you just are another class. It's
Yeah, going through
you
the
have a
motions.
exactly, you don't have the same motivation.
You're currently joining us from Madrid in Spain. So why did you move there when you've got all this going on the other side of the world?
I had to do an international semester in my in the undergraduate program that I was doing in Colombia. But yeah, I love living here. It's since this is my third country that I've lived. Of course, we have the same language, and kind of when you have the same language, there's more common things. Cultural,
Hmm.
it's there is a link. We are linked.
More
So
familiar, yeah.
more familiar. So I guess the process of being here and living here hasn't been as, I guess, harsh or hard as when I moved to
Yeah.
Canada or the States.
Can you give advice to anyone interested in moving out or even moving to a different country after all of your traveling that you've done?
It starts with what you want to do and what you want to pursue, and kind of make the decision by yeah your dreams or your goals, not just because it sounds or looks awesome or beautiful
Hmm.
in the pictures. It just yeah, think of what you want to do. And when you are clear on that goal, then when you move there, stay focused on what you want to pursue while still living in that country and, getting used to life there. But yeah, I mean, you're gonna face a lot of like solitude, maybe depression. You're away from
Mm,
family, friends,
right.
and if it's your first time, it's gonna be hard. Once you have other experiences, then you know how it is, so it's not that bad. But yeah, you have to really prioritize what you want to do and
Stay
focus on
focused. Yeah.
stay focused because it's
Okay.
really easy to just move to another path and then just want to move back to your hometown.
For the person listening that wants to move or even move to a different city abroad like you did, do you have any tips on how to meet people or how to make it less like you're alone? Because you would be
Yeah,
if you do want to go alone. I mean, that's kind of daunting. You're going to know nobody around you. How do you meet people and how do you handle that?
if you're going, I guess, for education, try to make friends in class, or you have to be really open-minded because it's kind of like a survival thing where
Hmm.
you just have to be social or like open-minded to kind of like just adjust better using Eventbrite or something like that. You'll find whatever event, and that's what I've done also. Like I just look on the app and whatever event I see that interests me, I just go there and yeah, I'm like uh
Check it out.
yeah, let's make connections. It's not gonna be easy to make friends in a different country because it's probably not the same culture, but just know that it will take time. And yeah, you cannot rush the process. There is no way around it. You have to kind of like take one day at a time because if
Ooh, yeah.
if otherwise you'll get overwhelmed.
Yeah, I can't
Get
imagine.
overwhelmed. You have to adapt. Otherwise you'll make the process horrible and you'll probably just make the decision to move back. Yeah, of course, some of the cons are like being away from family. You have to sacrifice something. You won't achieve your goals without sacrifice. And there is something that you have to sacrifice. Either it's time, either it's being away from family, being away from friends, or whatever. You have to sacrifice if you want to achieve your goals or.
Hmm. How did you find entrepreneurship and how have you used it to grow your skills and business with video editing? So tell us about what you're doing now.
It comes from my blood because my
Mm,
father or my family, my grandfather used to work in a bank. He said like, "Okay, you're gonna you're gonna work here in the bank." And he said, "No,
mhm.
I'm not gonna work for anybody." And it was interesting because it was not a common thing, I guess, among the family to do. Like you'll just go to a regular path being an employee. And he was like, no, I'm not gonna be an employee, I'm gonna be the employer. So he's my role model, and I knew that I wanted to go that path too. Like I wanted to have my business and I want to work for anybody. And yeah, had a I've never questioned that I wanted to do something else. Like
Cool.
I just want to be my own boss. Part of the why I want to be like the owner, or I guess, yeah, entrepreneur, is to help others, give opportunities to others. And one of my passions and one of the reasons why I study international business, I want to give exposure to my country, the talent to my country, because I mean, I love my country and I want to give opportunities to, the amazing talent that we have in Colombia. So
Wow. Oh, that's so cool. Now, what advice would you give to someone that is interested in becoming an entrepreneur or a professional video editor and making money from it in the film industry?
My advice would be you don't have to go to school to be a professional filmmaker. There are a lot of filmmakers or great directors that don't even go to school. But I would say it's important to make connections and network, find people that you look up to and try to reach out to them and figure out a way to meet them or meet other people like-minded that want
Mm-hmm.
to, do that are passionate about your same area. One of the things that helped me a lot was to be able to work with people or editors who were way better than me, who had more experience than me, and work under them, learn how their styles. Because I mean, a lot of like editing is style technique, but it's also your artist inside of you trying to piece together a story. A lot of people, like young people who want to start, just get stuck on it needs to look amazing, it needs to look beautiful, use
Right. Yeah.
the current trends or styles or techniques. You need to be able to tell the best story, and then also use techniques and tools, libraries, and different tools that you use to kind of bring the story about with cinematic language. Another thing that I think is really important to know is what are your strengths and what are your weaknesses. Instead of spend all the time and energy to do something that you don't like, try to meet people that are really good at that and they have passion on that, and then just hire them or just work with them. Because I mean, a lot of times when you're starting out, you have to do everything, but
Right. Yeah.
it
Yeah.
gets to a point where you cannot just, okay, what do I like and what I don't like, and delegate the things that you don't like so you can focus on what you like. The overall project and the quality is going to increase a lot, and you will see that. And that's something that I found through the process. That was not something that I knew right in the beginning.
That was perfect for any aspiring filmmaker or video editor. That's exactly what they need to hear. Thank you for sharing that. I end every episode with the same last question, so I'm interested to hear what you're going to say. What mistakes do you see young people making?
Don't stress out too much on what you wanna study, what you wanna do
Mm.
for the rest of the life, because you won't probably know when you're in high school.
Yeah.
It just takes time to realize that and try to have that experience, because a lot of times the best experiences comes from the unexpected. Realize what you want to do, what you're passionate about, and then just and find a way to do it. Find the people who encourage you, influence you, the resources. If it means going in the weekends to cycle of movies with weird people to learn different things that are, just do it. I mean, it's just taking small actions will at the end of the day become major actions.
There we go. Thank you so much. It's been so nice to talk to you and hear your perspective and your advice. Carlos, where can they follow you and how can they support you in your work?
They can follow me on Instagram at cm_saria. I have also my website there, cmedinafilms.com. If it's film related, just reach out, get started as an editor, or assistant editor, or sound mixer, because that's another thing that I do. They can reach out. I love to give back, because I've been in the bottom at the beginning, where you get the opportunities that people usually don't give you.
Yeah.
I'm really passionate about that, and if it's questions related to film, if it's about like living in a different country, or about Colombia, Spain, yeah.
Oh, you're so generous. I love it. Share your thoughts and graduation decisions with us. My usernames are @DecisionDayPodcast and @LeahLeverage. If you like this episode or got value out of it in any way, please leave a review, rate the podcast 5 stars. We hope that this was impactful for you. You could share it with your friends or other high school students. Thank you so much for listening, and I can't wait to share a new perspective with you in the next episode. Thank you, Carlos.
Thank you, Leah.
Thanks for listening to the Decision Day podcast. If you know a student in high school, ask them to listen or share an episode with them. And as always, we love hearing from you. Share your stories with us on social, Decision Day Podcast. Until next week. Decision Day Podcast is sponsored by the Rise and Record event, Nashville, Tennessee. RiseandRecord.com for more info.